Good evening, race fans. Ken Rodriguez, NAGP TV Live, coming to you from Spa-Francorchamps. But before we continue, let me reintroduce my partner tonight, Jack Ivy. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing great, Ken. It's a great track to be at. Spa, one of my favorites. But these guys are in for it tonight. I do believe qualifying is a nighttime qualifying tonight. Damp track.
Yeah, we just moved over to qualifying, and it is a damp track. It's raining. Nighttime qualifying, so these guys all have their work cut out for them tonight.
Yeah, and I was just up chatting with the boys in the Saturday channel, and although Alex White is up at the top of the timesheet there with John Ludden in second and Chris in third, Alex White said he would just absolutely hate it if it was wet or damp for qualifying.
Boy, oh boy, so much for the broadcaster's curse, eh? That's out the window. It's the driver's curse tonight.
You got that right. What? He's a great driver. He'll be just fine.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I'm actually just on board with Alex White right now as he's making his outlap right now. It looks like he's got one of the Ferraris in front of him. He nearly loses it and goes back into the pits. So we're going to jump on board with someone else here. But it's going to be interesting to see how this qualifying session goes tonight. John Ludden was in second, and it seems that these guys are just slipping and sliding all over the place here tonight, Jack.
Yeah, you know what? Probably, they've gambled and gone out on maybe some slick tires. Maybe they need wet. Maybe it's damper than they think. This first bit of the outlap is going to be the telltale of what tires they're actually going to need to get a good, solid lap in.
Yeah, and I can't help to think that these guys must be wondering what their race weather is going to be like. Even though the race is in a daytime setting, these conditions here, damp track, nighttime, it makes for some really seat of the pants driving.
Yeah, just nighttime alone, throws another element into it. And then damp track. Sometimes it's almost better if the track is wet or flooded. The boys know what tires they're going for. Damp, is it intermediates? Is it soft wets? Is it do you go out on slicks and hope to stay in the groove? There's a bunch of drivers off in the corners, though, farther back.
That and one of the most unique things about the car packs that we run, not the same tire setting works for every car. Very unique here at NAGP.
Yeah, maybe the Dunlops might do a little better out here in the wet.
Quite possibly. I know that the Michelins, we didn't have. We had the Pirellis last year at Spa for GT2, and they worked really well when the track got damp. So perhaps the Dunlops for the GT1 cars.
Nope, you're probably right. It's probably going to be a Pirelli choice there for the wet. Each tire's got its moments out there. So these guys look like they're tiptoeing around here, Ken.
Just a bit on board with Chris Moses right now, currently sitting third. He's coming across the start-finish line, and he's going to start his hot lap. So we're just going to stay on board with Chris for a little bit, see what the early going gives us.
And I'm going to keep a look at the timing and scoring board, Ken, and keep you updated on who's doing what out there. "88 degrees, track temp, 78 ambient. Damp conditions forecast for rain." Wow.
That's going to be tough, boy. I tell you, Spa is a handful even in the dry. In the wet, it's just that much more of a handful.
I'm a little surprised looking at the board here. Oh, you know why I'm surprised? I am not surprised. Because we've got Raleigh, Roman, Graytrix, Wathen, and Merriman all sitting out with no quals tonight, Ken.
Yeah, they do. We went over that, and as we went over in the pre-race show, quite a few penalties given out from last week's Nordschleife race. So we have quite a few gentlemen that are sitting out with no qual penalties.
Yeah, after as many races as we've got in here, I don't know why the first laps are as messy as they are.
Well, there's one thing that I don't think you can ever get rid of the anticipation and the anxiousness that a lot of these drivers feel during the first lap, trying to jockey for position. And I'll be the first to admit, even I at times get lost in the foray and forget what I'm doing and lose the focus. And while I focus more on staying clean, sometimes I end up losing 3 or 4 positions in that first lap, just trying to avoid the melees.
Absolutely. Well, we've got Marty Uren has jumped out to an early lead here. Got the provisional pole at a 2:22.079, and he's about 0.2 of a second ahead of Andre Prado right now.
Chris Moses just coming across the start-finish line now with a 2:23. So,
and that's only good for 6th.
Yep, only good for 6th at the moment. So yeah, Marty Uren setting the early pace here tonight.
Alex White will be the next one to come across. So let's see how Alex does. Alex Scott putting in a 2:33.
Yeah, 2:33. That's going to be a little bit slow for tonight's pace. He's going to have to find some speed out there. If that was his first lap, no doubt he'll probably push it a little bit further in the coming moments.
Yeah, we've got the top 4 guys: Marty Uren, Andre Prado, David Pohl, and John Ludden in the 2:22s. So it's at least going to be 2:22s to get into those top couple of grids.
Oh yeah. So Ryan Schleif now just came across the start-finish line with a 2:37. Wow. Surprised he's that far back. I thought that Schleif was serving a no-qual, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Ken, I may just go up and grab Schleif and pull him right out of qualifying. I just give him the heads up, just so he doesn't get into too much more trouble. I'm going to leave him for just a second, Kenny.
Sounds good, and we'll continue on here. So on board with Alex White. Alex White going across the start-finish line to start his hot lap now. Conditions on the track right now, 88 and damp, and still the forecast is for rain. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys handle this track at nighttime qualifying in the rain. Go on board with Alex White. And Alex White having made mention about a week ago that he's been having a handful. His time has been spent with dealing with a mid-engine car. He's been having a handful of problems trying to master that, and it is quite a unique experience to driving a front-engine rear-wheel drive car. These mid-engine cars are something totally different, and the Celine in particular, that is very, very hard and rough on your rear tires. Hard to maintain a steady pace for an hour and a half, especially when you're running high temperatures, dry track conditions. A little bit of a lurch from Alex White there as he comes around one of the turns, but gains it back quickly. Coming into the bus stop now, Alex White coming up on one of the McLaren F1s that goes off track just in front of him, so he gets a lucky break there. And Alex White setting a new fast lap with a 2:21.023, moving to the top of the leaderboard. That moves David Poole down to second. Poole in the pits. We'll jump on board with Aaron Parsons, currently third with a 2:21.601. Aaron Parsons racing out of Australia. So it's got to be a daunting task week after week. Aaron running in both of our series, GT1 and GT2, and the times that we start on the East Coast at 9 p.m. in Australia, it's got to be very early in the day over there.
Well, Kenny, I think we got a little excited there. Read through all the penalties, and Rich Robin confirmed it after I hauled Ryan off the track. But looks like he's just got every other penalty we could think up, except for no qual.
Oh, good for Ryan then. So he can go out there and do his quali run then. Very good.
Yeah, he already had, I think he's already got a lap in or so. Not a very good one, but he'll get back out there. He's got time in to get a few hot laps in, so he should be all right. But our mistake, folks. We just didn't want him to get into any trouble. For last thing he needed was a no qual for next week for qualifying when he shouldn't have qualified for this week, if you can follow that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, quick rundown of your qualifying session early on right now. Alex White, Marty Uren just grabbing the pole now with a 2:24.78. Alex White in second, Ian Jolicoeur third, David Poole, Aaron Parsons, Chris Moses, Chris Hamilton, Prato, who's in the pits right now, John Sportelli, and Ludden. Those are your top 10. And boy, from 1 to 10, you have a gap of about 2.4 seconds. Not much at all. Not much time difference at all. We just jumped on board with John Sportelli. He takes it wide right before the bus stop chicane.
You know, not a surprise up there. I mean, we know White's fast. There's no doubt about that. But last year's race, Marty Uren came in second. Geez, he's sitting in second right now. And Ian Jolicoeur came in third. Oh, gee, he's sitting in third right now. So it's almost a replay of last year's mid-season classic.
You know, no surprise there, right? These guys, these drivers here, these top 3 drivers, top 4, top 5, very fast. And even more important than that, very consistent. So no surprise to see them where they are. A little further down, Gup Douglas in 11th, which is a great start here. If he can hang on to that 11 or improve on 11. John Ludden now down to 12th. John, during practice in the drive, had set the early pace here, but looks like Alex White had an answer for everybody tonight. So John Ludden in 12th, Marco Conti now in 13th. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, you know, and it's great to see Marco back. You know, hey, you know what, Marco? You can't leave NAGP. It's not going to be allowed. And even if you do, we want you to send your twin brother Corrado back out. But you know, you look like you're doing fine here tonight. It's a great track. I know you like it, so hang in here. You're a great driver. You're a great guy to hang around. And you know what? As I put up in the post there, Ken, I'd miss this guy's post-race reviews.
Yeah, Marco's been a little quiet lately. and we do miss his reviews because he's got great write-ups. So anybody out there that doesn't know about Marco's post-race write-ups, get into our forum after a race night, and you're bound to see something written by him. He's got great writing skills and doesn't hold anything back.
No, I just absolutely enjoyed it. It's one of the best things I do in the office in the morning with my coffee is to read Marco's write-ups. I just think they're great. So you hang in here, Marco. You're doing just fine here at NAGP, and we'd miss you. So we got White, Parsons, Uren, and Joliker. So Parsons has jumped up there into P2.
Yep. Parsons mixing it up with the fast guys. Let's talk about P14. Thomas Schubeck driving the very long-nosed Panos.
Yeah, and he's turned in some decent races. And, during our race school, Brad was trying to work with Thomas on patience. If he just had a little bit more patience and didn't try to hurry himself, he'd do fine. So I think some of this school is paying off, Shuby, so keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's currently holding down P14 with a 2:23.127. So there is some opportunity for improvement. We have about 9 minutes left in qualifying.
Yeah. Gup is another guy. Geez, he's been doing great lately. He had a fabulous race last week at the Nordschleife. And Christian Hamilton as well boy, that guy's come back with a vengeance after being away from NAGP for a while. He has come back and made his presence known here.
Yeah, he certainly has. And Christian, as we know, suffered a loss in the family not too long ago. He came back to NAGP with something to prove, Jack, I think.
Yeah, now, you know what has got me? I'm just up here looking at the timing board here, Kent, and Anger Racing, Andre Prado, Brad Maris, 12 and 17. Do you make anything of that?
I don't actually. I know that there was some post-race banter after the Monza race with regards to weight penalties for the car, etc., etc. But not sure what to make about 12 and 17 right now. David Poole.
No, and this isn't boding too well for us, Kenny, because we're driving the GT2 version of their car at Spa for our season final. So these guys better get it figured out pretty quick, and I'm going to want to tap into them if they do.
Absolutely, but in all fairness, they are racing in the damp, and I'm hoping we don't.
Yeah. 2 hours to Spa in the wet.
Yeah, but anything's possible here at NAGP.
David Poole out to take it.
Yep, just took it off track, so he parked it. Alex White still sitting in second. Aaron Parsons, Marty Uren. Marty Uren driving the Ferrari F40. That's a legacy car in our car pack here. And
wow, hang on a second. Driver update, Alex White just set the new fastest lap, 2:17.897.
Holy moly, just jumped on board with Alex White. Wow. That's a blistering pace to have here in the damp. It hasn't let up. The water's still on the track. He figured something out.
2 seconds.
I don't know, Jack. What do you think? Was he holding back? Was he sandbagging a little bit?
No, you hit it right on the nail head. He figured it out. It's taken him almost 20 minutes, but he figured it out. And that's the kind of driver he is.
Yeah, he certainly did figure something out because, boy, oh boy, to just lay down a 2:17.897 to David Poole's 2:19.839, that's a phenomenal job.
Yeah, it's I just don't know where he gets that speed from.
Nor Nor do I, but boy, I'll tell you what, I'd love for some of that to rub off on me. Just jumped on board
Okay,
with,
we got.
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, just saying that we just jumped on board with Aaron Parsons in P4, driving the McLaren F1. Just he's on an outlap.
And I just followed Thomas Schubeck. Schubeck just improved to P15. Good run, Schub.
Very nice. So I just jumped on board with Brad Maris, who got bumped down to P8. Anger Racing, I know that this Viper was something that Brad had wanted pretty badly, and Andres Prado did agree to select this car. So they've had some success this season, this GT1 season, with the Dodge Viper.
Yeah, you know what? But Brad could drive anything. Geez, in our driving school, Brad was driving that Camaro that everybody said nobody could drive, and he was still posting the fastest laps. And he made a mention, oh, nobody could drive this car, so he can drive anything.
No surprise there, right?
Well, I see P9 John Ludden's coming up the back behind the back pits area there, so he'll be coming around, and he's looking decent. He might have an opportunity to improve his position here.
Yep, came through La Source very quickly, trying his best to get as close to Alex as he can.
P6.
P6. So he'll continue on. John Sportelli sitting in P7.
Yeah, he's on an outlap now, so we'll keep our eye on him.
So I'm back on board with Brad Maris. He just started his hot lap in the Viper. Didn't get to see what his Sector 1 split time was, but we should be able to see where he's at after Sector 2. Interestingly enough, my
Prado coming up the back straight now, and he looks like he is going to be in a position to improve as well. He's coming around. Yeah, I think he's going to improve from his P14. Up to P8.
Up to P8. That is a huge improvement.
Yeah, and with that, it's bumped Brad down to P11, but Brad won't mind.
Well, Brad right now just going through the bus stop as one of the Aston Martins got locked up there, but Brad now coming down into La Source. Oh, it takes a little slow through La Source. I don't think he gauged the turn at La Source very well. It's gonna put him down a little bit, but let's see here.
P2.
P2. Whoa.
What was that about not gauging La Source? Holy crap.
I don't know. He went through La Source kind of slow, but I guess it didn't matter because he must have been flying through the rest of the track.
I'm telling you, no. You know what? I was watching his timing as he came up the back paddock area there, and I didn't think he had enough to grab all of that. I thought he was going to grab a couple of positions, but good on you, Brad. Way to go.
Just jumped on board with Bjorn Heeman real quick. He's driving the Koenigsegg, the 03 Koenigsegg. Currently sitting in P21, hoping to improve. He's on a hot lap right now. Boy, I'm watching the rain come down, Jack. These raindrops seem to be getting a little fatter.
Well, maybe that is a good portent for the big Viper because if it's getting wetter. Brad sure didn't mind that at all.
No, he certainly didn't. He certainly didn't mind that at all. Put him up in P2. That was an incredible run.
Yeah, I'm just catching up with Alex Scott coming up the back paddocks. He's currently in P26, but he is going to improve greatly if he can hang on to it and get a good steamroll to the start finish.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually still on board with Bjorn. He got bumped down to 22nd, but he's coming around now. La Source, a little off pace. We'll have to see what he comes across the start-finish line with. Currently P22, looking to improve. And he does, up to P17.
Absolutely.
So on board with Aaron Parsons right now. He's currently in P4.
And he is ahead of the pole time right now by 2/100ths of a second. Got a bit of lap track of it in front of him. I hope they let him through. Looks like Marty, you're in. No, Marty might have enough space there. Because Parsons has just got bumped down to 5th. But this is a good-looking lap.
It's a good-looking lap. Room for improvement here if he can just hold it together and get down that hill as quickly as possible. Yep.
P2.
P2.
the wonder from down under.
Boy, oh boy, as qualifying comes to a close, I think the last one out there is Kreshnik Halili, and he will not have time to finish his lap. So, qualifying in the books.
Well, it was pretty exciting. I am just hoping, for everybody's sake, we can wipe this damp track out of here and get into some dry conditions.
Yeah, I'd love to see this race in the dry. Boy, I tell you, Alex White went back out there and set another blistering lap, a 2:16.946. I think Alex White just said, I don't want nobody very close to me in times. I'm just going to go out there and lay the smack down. And he sure did so.
Well, he did, but he's pretty honest about it. I mean, he's very disappointed when he doesn't do well, when he doesn't win, when he doesn't get the pole, when he doesn't have the fast lap. But he has proven he's beatable. He is beatable. Our top drivers can beat him. He has some races which he just doesn't perform in. And you know what? I think if Alex isn't up at the front 1, 2, or 3, it's not going to be his race. But he's where he wants to be right now. But boy, oh boy, he's got Aaron Parsons, Marty Uren, and Ian Joliker. Uren and Joliker and Parsons, boy, and Brad Maris, Sportelli. Holy jumping. This guy's going to be pushed tonight.
No doubt about it. I mean, let's be honest here. Here at NAGP, as it goes for the fast guys and not only just the fast guys, from front to back, any given night can be their night. Any given night can be your night. So it is the way it is, because when you take a look at the history of NAGP and the races that we've run here, the tracks that we've run, the cars that we've run, boy, I tell you, you have a good mixture of people winning both races, championships, team championships. It's a very good dynamic mix.
Unfortunately, we've got Al Merriman is showing us at a UQ right now. I hope he can get back in quali 2. There's only a couple of 10 seconds left to go. Not sure what happened there.
Not sure, but he may get bumped back in when we switch sessions. That's my hope.
Well, if he doesn't get in now, he won't get in. He's only got Q2 to get back in. He will not be a happy camper, as I took up most of his practice time last night as he was trying to work with me on some computer and broadcast issues, folks.
Oh boy. Yeah, I know Al likes to have his practice time, and it's very important to him, as it is to most of us.
It sure is, and I know I'm pretty lucky this weekend here in my home province. Monday is a holiday. It's a civic holiday. It's called Family Day, and I will have all day to practice for Monday's race.
Very, very nice. That's GT2. So where are we racing in GT2 next Monday?
Mid-Ohio.
Oh yeah, Mid Ohio. Off-camber turns, lightweight turns, and yeah, a lot of fun.
Ups, downs, rounds. Oh.
Yeah, that's quite a challenging track for me, Jack.
Well, in the Big Viper, it's going to be a challenge, Ken. Some of the smaller, more nimble cars are probably going to do well, but we're going to go out and give them HE double hockey sticks Monday night.
Yes, we are broadcast racing. So just jumping on board with John Sportelli as they go around on a warm-up lap. Right now we're in warm-up, and these guys are getting ready for 19 minutes of Spa.
They are indeed. So this one's going to end up probably on time. I mean on distance.
Yeah, quite possibly. We have what are the max? The max laps tonight are looking on the way. Maximum distance is 36 laps.
All right, I will keep my eye on that, so we try not to miss the finish, which we have in the past, but we're only human. The last race went just under 84 minutes, so about 6 minutes shy of the hour and a half.
Yeah, so it did finish on distance that time.
Well, it is going to be exciting tonight. I can just feel it right now. Oh, Al's back in. Good.
Yeah, and I thought that he might be once they switch the sessions over. So good to have him back in the race. And yeah.
Yeah, and that frozen Aston Martin, that was Gup Douglas. So it looks like Gup is rejoined at the back of the pack too, which is too bad because he had a real decent qualifying going there.
Yeah, it's always a shame when you get disconnected in GTR2 during your quali, because when you do get back in, if you do get back in, it puts you back at the back of the field. And you may have had a really, really good run, even a top 10 run, and it's just one of those things that if it happens, unfortunately, you lose that grid spot.
Well, especially now. I mean, we've got 36 drivers out there, Ken. I mean, Gup was, easy in the top 15. That's 22 places he just lost. My heart goes out to you, Gup, but that big Aston, you just power it up, Gup. You'll do fine out there tonight.
Yep, absolutely. Just want to take a moment here, Jack, to remind those that may be watching our broadcast that NAGP is member supported and it's donation supported. So it takes a few $100s to run NAGP month to month. So if you like what you see and you enjoy the broadcast and you're a part of this league, we ask you to go ahead and dig into your pockets, throw us a couple of bucks. And, Al does a great job. Chris does a great job of giving us an awesome place to race. And gotta say that NAGP is one of the premier leagues in the world with our structure and the races that we have set up for our members.
Yeah, and you're mentioning Premier, but hey guys, if you're out there, if you're watching some of the broadcasts, if you're watching some of the replay broadcasts later on, contact the admins. Come on out with us. It's a barrel of fun out here. We have our controversy, just like everybody else does, but we have a lot of fun out here at NAGP.
Yeah, we most certainly do. Week after week. So we'd love to see more members join.
And humongous grids. These grids are insane, but you know what? They're doing a pretty good job here. I got to hand it to the admins of getting these tracks prepped. The car packs, the work that went into making sure that he can field all these grids. And, although they limit it to 36 on some tracks, I don't think there's been a track this year, Ken, that we've had to turn anybody away.
No, I don't think so, which is a good thing. I never want to turn anybody away, but we understand also that that time may come, but it has not. So we don't want to discourage anybody from joining. GT1 could certainly use a boost in some of the grids to match what GT2 is doing week in and week out. And boy, this just dawned on me, Jack. A lot of these guys race GT2 using this race and this qualifying as a warm-up to our GT2 season finale, eh?
Absolutely. And Marty Uren, he's racing out of California. He's an ex-professional racer, and he made mention of this, quite a few times. He looks at this as cross-training. GT1, GT2, it's good to get into different, series of cars, and especially this track, because a lot of these guys are going to be racing this track in another 5 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. So certainly a good way to get some warm-up as well as competing, because this is a full-on race here. This is not just a pre-race. This is not a warm-up race. However, these guys do get the full Monty: practice, qualifying, warm-up, race, and looks like we are switching over to race. So why don't you go ahead and start running them down, Jack?
Well, before I run them down, I'm just going to say, thank goodness we've got a dry track of 73 degrees and an ambient temperature of 64. A forecast of sunny skies make everybody happy, especially, I don't know why, Alex White in P1, Aaron Parsons in P2, Marty Uren in P3, Ian Jolicoeur in P4, and Brad Maris in P5.
John Sportelli will start 6, John Ludden in 7, David Poole in P8, Andres Prado will start 9, and Chris Moses will start 10th.
P11 for Greg Myers. Congratulations, Greg. One of your best qualifying efforts ever. Christian Hamilton in P12, Andre Cole in 13, Ryan Schleif in 14, and Jarrett Keene in 15.
Thomas Schubeck will start 16th, Alex Scott in 17, John McIntyre 18, Bjorn Heyman in 19th, and Brian Mongrain in 20th. Good to see Brian back.
Marco Conti in 21st, Sergio Calderon in 22nd, Kreshna Khalili in 23rd, Paul Hall in 24th, and Jean-Yves Sampson in 25th.
Andrew Werner will start 26th, Jonathan Cuppett in 27th, Mike Greatrix in 28th, David Raleigh 29th, and Rich Roman in 30th.
John Wathen in 31st, Liquid Lou Mascherelli in 32nd, Matt Taylor in 33rd, David Canavan in 34th, Gup Douglas in 35th, and Al Merriman in 36th. That's your race order for Spa GT1 Thursday night.
Awesome. So, any predictions tonight, Jack?
I'm going out on a limb. Here, I'm going way out on a limb. The senior statesman, Marty Uren, for the win.
Wow. Very, very, very good choice. I do not have a favorite, but given his qualifying performance, I say Brad Maris has a good chance. And they're off. As they come up through Eau Rouge.
Absolutely clean, Ken, coming through Eau Rouge. Not one accident.
Fantastic. Wow. Fantastic. David Canavan, for some odd reason, did not start. So, jumped on board with Alex White in the early going. being followed very, very closely by Aaron Parsons, who is just lashed onto his tail.
At the back of the pack, John Ludden has gone off and is now sitting in 35th position.
Oh, wow. Sorry for John Ludden. Looks like he may have been helped off the track. He's got some damage in the rear of his car.
Well, he had great pace, so it's not going to take him long.
Yeah, not at all. And we are racing in the dry. Back up front, Alex White, Aaron Parsons, Marty Uren, Ian Jolicoeur driving the Nissan GTR in 4th, Brad Maris in 5th in the Viper, David Poole, John Sportelli, Chris Moses right behind Sportelli. Boy, these guys are freight training in the front there, Jack.
Well, there's some good action going on farther back as well.
Wow, they take it wide off the track as they come through Blanchimont. Christian Hamilton in 10th, chasing down Chris Moses and Gregory Myers.
We have got all sorts of action going back here at the chicane. It's a mess back here. It's a mess.
Ryan Schleif early into the pits.
Must have picked up some damage or a flat tire. Definitely not in his pit window yet.
Nope,
Not even close.
Not even close. Yeah, so must have picked up some damage, as you said. Probably coming in early in the hopes of getting back out there and picking them off one by one.
No, he had a stop and go. He must have had a cut track, probably at the chicane. Didn't ease off the throttle.
Oh, wow. That's gotta hurt. That hurts. John Sportelli and Chris Moses having a battle all their own. Moses looking inside and outside for that P7. That's allowing Greg Myers to pull up on them as well.
Thomas Schubeck has put it off track and fallen back to P24. Just keeping you updated, folks.
Bjorn Heeman all the way up to P14. Right now, chasing down Jared Keene as they just come through Blanchimont.
Well, I got another hard charger back here, and I'm not surprised. Rich Roman up to P19.
I'm just on board with you now. Rich Roman driving the Corvette C6. And is that David Rowley just behind him? Yes, it is.
Well, they'll want to keep that clean.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Brian Mongrain running 18th. Followed by Rich Roman, Dave Rowley, Al Merriman up to 21. Jean-Yves Sampson in 22. Jonathan Cuppett in 23rd. Thomas Schubeck, as you said, he took it off the track, but he seems to have gotten it back together again. Hang in there, Thomas. Andrew Werner in 25. Mike Graytrix 26th. Gub Douglas in 27. John Wath in 28. Paul Hall in 30th. Matt Taylor, Lou Masciarelli, Sergio Calderon in 33rd, and Ryan Schleif in 34th after having served his stop-and-go penalty.
Well, back out in front, no surprise. The White Lightning has got himself a 3-second lead over Aaron Parsons, who's got a 2-second lead over Marty and Ian. But Marty and Ian look like they're fairly well paced and are hanging in together.
Yep, just caught up with you, Jack, and I am on board with Ian Jolicoeur, looking ahead at the back of Marty Urin's F40, looking clean. They are now coming through Blanchimont.
Man, and not right behind them is Brad Maris and David Poole. And you know, I was just on board running with David Poole, and not a lift out of David Poole coming through that Blanchimont. Not one lift, flat out all the way around, and that car just stuck like glue.
That's incredible. That's incredible because, boy, Blanchimont is hairy.
Rich Roman has just gone around Kreshnik Halili to take P15. He is on a tear. That is 22 spots Rich has gained in 2 laps.
His partner, Andres Cole, running in P11 currently. So Andres Cole keeping it very, very clean. Marco Conti up to 12th. Alex Scott is he's subbing for Salem Montgomery Jr. tonight, isn't he?
Could be.
Yeah, I believe he is. He's driving the
yes, you're right.
He's driving the O2 Saline, yeah.
He definitely is. So that is a driver substitution, and he will be carrying some baggage with him.
That he will. Rich Roman, 15th. Raleigh up to 16th. Boy, these guys are pushing hard. They are forging ahead. Rich Roman, no doubt, wanting to finish in the points. And I think there's a little bit of showmanship there, too, you know. Hey, it's okay. I'll start at the back, and I'll still finish well. You go, Rich.
Well, we got a pretty good battle going on up in P19 with Cuppet, Schubeck, and Andrew Werner. They're freight training around.
I just caught up with that battle right now. I am watching Schubeck, who is in this sandwich right now, holding it together. It looks like Cuppet's getting a little bit of a gap there. Oh, but he gets the rear end a little squirrely. And boy, I tell you, Schubeck is he's just wicked through that bus stop chicane.
And just a little farther back, we've got Greatrix, Wathen, and Ludden. They're in a fierce battle as well. So there is lots of good fighting going on all around this track.
Yep, absolutely. Lots of great racing front to back. Whoa, as John Wathen almost spins it coming out of La Source. That gives Ludden the opportunity to pull alongside him, but looks like Wathen's got a little bit more down the straight.
Just a little farther back, we've got Sampson and Halili going through Eau Rouge. This is looking dicey here.
Whoa. Just jumped on board with Halili as he is trailing Sampson. They go down Kimmel straight.
And a little farther back than that, Calderon just puts a move on Paul Hall. Holy smokes, he left him just standing on that big straightaway.
Halili getting past. Yeah, Halili just got past Sampson.
Well, now Jean-Yves Sampson has got Matt Tiller to deal with.
Alex White has pulled out a 7.4 second lead over Aaron Parsons.
Well, the closest battle we got going there is Chris Moses is all over the back of Brad Maris right now, so this is going to get intense really quick.
Yep, just caught up with you, Jack, and I'm on board with Chris Moses right now, looking at the back of that mean-looking Viper as they come into La Source. Oh, and Chris almost puts his nose into the back of Brad Maris.
Well, I was just checking out timing there. Alex White is running 2:11.7s. Aaron Parsons is running 2:12.7s, 2:13s. That's the difference.
Oh, coming down the Kemmel Straight. Moses alongside Brad Maris. Is he going to make this pass stick? Gets by him. And he makes it stick. So Chris Moses taking away P5 from Brad Maris.
You know, a textbook pass, and couldn't look prettier. Good on both of them.
Yeah, but Brad Maris, I don't think he is done with Moses yet. We'll have to see. Riding on board with P6 Brad Maris. Yeah, it looks like Moses will actually pull out a little bit of a gap over Brad Maris. Brad Maris will probably try and conserve some tires now that Moses has gotten by. So it looks like folks, for the most part, are starting to space themselves out just a little bit here in the early going.
Yeah, I've got David Rowley, and Rowley is battling, trying to get past Johnny Mac McIntyre, but Mac is making that car very wide.
Yep, I was on board with John McIntyre as you started the update, Jack, so I'm watching these two. David Riley trying to find his way around John McIntyre driving the big Aston Martin. Boy, yeah, and he is making it real difficult, but Riley spins it going into the entrance of the bus stop, and will give John McIntyre an opportunity to breathe easy.
Well, Riley's now got to deal with Schubeck. But you know, a little farther back there, we've got that Wathen, Graytrix, Ludden. They are locked in a duel, a three-car duel.
Yeah, interesting development with this pack right here. Ludden was trailing them, got past the two. Don't know how much of a gap he's actually going to be able to pull out on these folks. It looks like they just were not letting Ludden through. Now that Ludden is through, it looks like he's going to start putting a gap between these folks. But great racing nonetheless, with John Wathen all over the back of Mike Graytrix.
And the big winner here could be Andrew Werner, who is closing the gap on this couple. So the more they fight it out, the more they're playing into Werner's hand. He's probably just loving the action up in front here.
Yeah, most certainly he must be. You know, when you take on driving defensively, it slows you down by a few tenths of a second per lap.
Johnny Sampson has spun it, and he is dropping like a stone in the pond.
Oh yeah, just joined up with him now. Wow. Took it off track. He drops down to 31. Oh, well, make that 33, because Lou Masciarelli and Jared Keane just got past him. Gup Douglas in 26, chasing down Matt Taylor. Ferrari F40. Oh, and Matt Taylor taking it off into the grass will let Gup Douglas by for P25.
So, got the big winner there.
Big battle between Jonathan Cuppet and Sergio Calderon. P27-28. Little surprised to see Sergio Calderon so far back in the pack.
Alex White DNF'd. Alex White DNF'd.
Oh, what could have happened there? I'm wondering if his internet connection may have gone awry yet again.
Alex White, Broadcast Racing. What happened? Alex White, are you there?
If it's his internet connection, he may not be able to hear us.
I'm gonna drop him back up into Saturday just in case. Oh, Alex, what happened?
I have no idea. That was... I honestly don't know.
I'm sorry, we were elsewhere on the track. Was it a crash or a connection?
No, it was a crash. I looked up at the gap to Eza and, well, threw it at the wall. And needless to say, the wall won. And I just don't believe I've done that.
Oh, man.
Alex, I can't believe it. Your lap times were phenomenal. You were a second and sometimes a second and a half better than the best out there tonight. I feel so sorry for you right now.
Yeah, sorry, I just feel like bursting out laughing because that's ridiculous. I've never done that before. Ever.
Wow. Oh, we're sorry, Alex. We certainly are. I mean, it can happen to anybody, and even to the best of them. But that's a heartbreaker for sure.
Well, Kenny, we have a new race leader, Marty Uren, Aaron Parsons, Chris Moses, and Ian Joliker, and they're all lockstep now.
You guys want me to commentate? I don't mind.
You can stay up here with us if you want there, Alex.
No worries. Let's have a look at the possessions. We've not actually had a look at them yet.
So, Marty Uren inheriting the lead here, still pretty early in the race. What are we currently working? Lap 9.
Lap 8.
Lap 8, right. My bad.
So, Marty's turning 2:12s. A little better pace than Aaron Parsons, who's really turning 2:13. Chris Moses in the 2:12, so you can look for Chris to put a move on Aaron Parsons soon.
I was just about to say, I'm wondering if Parsons' 2:13s are holding anybody up.
I know from secrets in the pit lane that Ez is currently on soft front tyres, so they might already be going off.
Yeah, he may be getting some push.
Ooh, Chris.
Very close there.
Yeah.
But boy, Ian Jolicoeur all over the tail of Chris Moses.
Yeah, the point I was going to make, Chris really has to take it in as deep as he can because he has got a bumper full of Jolicoeur.
Yeah, if Chris can keep it together through Rouge, then he'll get Parsons down the back straight. He's in his slipstream just now. Yeah, Chris has got him by miles.
Side by side. Down the Kemmel Straight.
Unless Ez is mega brave on the brakes, which he's not, so never mind. Oh, did Marty just have a bit of an off?
Not exactly sure.
No, a little bit of a bobble going through there, but not bad. He has still got a bit of a gap there. Not what I would call a comfortable gap, but a better gap than 2, 3, and 4 I got going right now.
Yeah. Right now, I'd rather be Marty than any of those three.
Yeah, if you've called it right, if Aaron's front tires are starting to go off a bit, he can't feel too comfortable where he is right now.
Christian Hamilton running a great race up in ninth. Looks like he's getting real comfortable in top 10 positions.
Yeah, he's... Ooh, that was a bit sideways. Yeah, he's doing not bad.
Ian making the pass on Aaron and makes a stick on Blanchimont.
And he did it around the outside, eh?
And it looks like Chris is now closing up that gap on Marty.
I'll wait 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. I really need to just go and shout loudly at myself.
Oh,
All right, Alex. There you go, folks. Champion driver. Alex White Lightning crashing out. Man, I didn't see that one coming.
no, not at all.
Boy, this 550 sure has the legs down the straight. Oh, man. Is he closing the gap up well on that straightaway into Marty's back end?
He certainly is, and it looks that way. If we go back to the timing board real quick, Jack, I'll tell you that Marty Uren is now dropped his 212s to 213s, and Chris Moses has just been running steady 212. So no surprise there that he is starting to pull up on Marty Uren. And you want to know something? Chris Moses had a taste of victory earlier on this week, and I think he wants a second lick at victory tonight.
Yeah, you're right there. You know what? As he said, it was his first win in 2 seasons, but what a competitor.
Yeah, I think that Moses still has a lot left in him, and he wants to put on that display. So no surprise that he has forged to the front and is now starting to hunt down the leader. As we know, Chris Moses is a great pit strategist, so if he can't quite catch Uren because Uren is driving that fast line, I can't help but think that Chris Moses is going to pull the rabbit out of his hat in the pits.
Yeah, now, which one of these Ferraris has got a better fuel economy? I got to think that they might be pretty well matched.
I believe they are.
Which they're going to have no advantage there. I can't see anybody going a double stint tire regime on this track. Maybe I'm nuts, but I can't see it.
Nor can I, but I'll tell you this much, boy. Moses is certainly hunting down Uren. So we're going to leave this battle for a little bit.
Well, we've got P9, we've got Christian Hamilton all over the back of Mr. Smooth, Greg Myers.
Yep, and again, Christian Hamilton showing great bursts of speed, but getting around Greg Myers is no easy task. Myers.
He's got him on this straight, though. He's got him.
Yep,
Boy,
I think
he
so.
got a great run out of Eau Rouge.
Yep, Greg bobbled it just a little bit down Eau Rouge, but I think Greg is going to try and take it late into the braking. No.
Boy, and Christian's got that Lambo hooked up, and he makes his stick.
Great pass. We caught it on the broadcast. Very nicely done, Christian Hamilton. But don't get too comfortable because Greg Myers is still right there. He's not letting you out of his sights. Rich Roman up to 10th.
Yeah, that's been just a phenomenal run for Rich.
We still have a lot of racing to go, Jack, and boy, just watching Rich on this run right now, starting to give me some thoughts of what his finishing position might be.
Well, he is running not as consistent as the other guys. He's running 13s and 14s. Got a best time of 2:12.966. So he's got a bit of work cut out for him, but hang in there. You're still running a great race.
Alex Scott in 15th, John McIntyre in 16th. Ludden now makes his way up to P17, and Thomas Schubeck still following Ludden around. So Schubeck with a great run in that Panos. Great Tricks now up to 19th, and Gub Douglas back to 20th. Werner in 21st. Go ahead.
Just getting back up there, P6, we've got David Pohl, and he's coming up to make a pass on Aaron Parsons. And he has got some serious steam on the back straightaway there.
Yep, just caught up with you right now. So we've got Maris, Parsons, and Pohl. 3 very fast, very consistent drivers.
Parsons is running 2:13s. Last lap was a 2:14. Pohl exactly the same. So their pace is very even. So they're going to probably hang in here together and give us a great battle.
Back up front with Uren and Moses, the gap has not increased and it has not decreased. I can't help but think that right now Moses may be pacing himself just a little bit. If we look at the lap times, Marty Uren has had several 213s and has dipped back down into the 212s. Moses has just been consistently into 12s, so going to be interesting to see how this develops.
And Uren just posted his fastest lap of the race. His fastest lap, 2:12.667. But Moses just put his fastest lap in it at 2:12.202. So they're both stepping up the pace.
Yep, and they've opened up a comfortable gap to third, Ian Jolicoeur, of about 5 seconds.
And Ian is, he's been the bridesmaid here a couple times. So, running a good, solid race. Just got to keep putting in the consistent laps. And, he's not getting harassed too bad.
Nope, not at all. Not at all, Jack. So, Moses getting by Uren for first. And boy, oh boy, Jack, I think Moses is going to check out.
Yeah. Marty must have had a bit of an incident there. I missed that. Sorry. Because he has dropped almost 2.5 seconds back. So, Marty obviously, slipped up somewhere along the line there to let Moses get that big of a gap. So a little bit of an off there for Marty.
Yeah, no doubt. And Moses now looking to establish domination here will try to increase that lead before the pit rotations start. Working lap 13.
Yeah, we still got, 4 or 5 laps to go before they're going to start plowing into the pits. So they're just going to have to try and keep their race pace going, keep it consistent up until pit time. Maris a little farther back. Brad Maris is all over the back of Ian Joliker now.
Ian Joliker sliding that Nissan through the chicane. Gave Brad Maris an opportunity to creep up on him just a little bit more.
Going to be interesting going through this Eau Rouge sector.
He who can hold it through Eau Rouge has the advantage. And it looks like they both did an excellent job.
I was, you took the words out of my mouth, Ken. I was going to say, both look, I could only wish I could go through like they did.
Yep, absolutely. But boy, look at this battle forming right behind them. Parsons and Poole. Poole trying to get an advantage on the outside of Parsons. Parsons says, nope, I got the racing line. Has given these two... I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is a great battle for P3. 4 cars involved in a battle for P3.
No doubt. No doubt. And again, these drivers, very consistent when they drive. Jolicoeur, Maris, Parsons, Poole, all stuck together there. Sportelli running somewhat alone in 7th. Christian Hamilton, however, starting to close the gap on Sporto. Boy, oh boy, I gotta tell you, Jack, Christian Hamilton, man on a mission tonight.
Yeah, but I think he's been on a mission all season. I can't say enough good things about Christian this season. Just pulled out all the stops. Obviously, he's getting back into his rhythm and putting on a clinic for everybody.
Yeah, he certainly is. Just jumped back with Andres Cole in P11. Brian Mongray now up to P12. Good on Brian. Bjorn Heyman in 13th. Marco Conti in 14th. Being chased down. So we've got 14, 15, 16, and 17. These guys are going at it. This pack, Marco Conti going wide.
Whoa.
Something happening to Alex Scott. He's dropping back a few positions.
Alex Scott, yes.
And look who's coming up behind these guys. Old Thomas Schubeck. This is going to be interesting. Boy, these guys, they had a good battle going on. Bjorn's still out in front, though. Trying not to look back.
Yeah. Bjorn has sort of got himself out of this melee, but Ludden all over the back of McIntyre, looking on the inside. I don't know if he's got enough though. He's going to try and break it late.
Yep, and he's going to make it stick. And now he's got Marco Conti directly in front of him.
Well, good on Mac. Kept it clean through there. That could have got ugly. But Ludden looking on the inside of Marco in a tough combination here.
Yeah, Ludden's certainly showing that he's got pace on some of these drivers. He's going to take a look on the inside, and it's not going to happen.
Nope. Marco is sticking to his driving line, and it's a good thing John didn't stick his nose in there because it would have got clipped off.
Certainly, and you know what? If there's anyone out here that can make that saline really wide, Marco Conti certainly can. He can make it quite difficult to pass. So
Well, of course, Marco's saying he wasn't happy being a mid-packer. How do you like it now, Marco? It looks like you're having fun out there tonight.
yeah, no doubt. I mean, this is some good competition going on for what is some of the last points-paying positions. And these guys are going at it as if...
Back up near the front, we've got David Pohl making a pass on Aaron Parsons down the back straight. It's a drag race there.
Yep, just caught up with you. Wow. Going to be interesting how this one goes. Who's going deeper? And I think the advantage here goes to the outside line. That's what we've been seeing all night long. Those coming up down the Kemmel Straight on the outside line have the advantage of going deeper into the braking zone.
Yeah, you know, they've got the turn-in point. I mean, it's going to be real tough to brake late and turn hard on the inside. Christian Hamilton taking a DNF.
Oh. Boy, and we were just on board with him. So Poole getting by Parsons for P5.
And I know we missed that on the broadcast, folks, but I do not even see Christian in the comms channel, Ken.
I believe that we may have had him drop.
And it won't surprise me because that eastern seaboard in the U.S. is supposedly getting hammered with a storm.
Yeah, lots of rain and lightning and thunder. Rich Roman up to 9th. Incredible run for this young man tonight.
So, P4, Brad Maris got his sights set on Joliker.
Ludden up to 13th. Mike Greatrix up to 18th. Gub Douglas 19th. Andrew Werner in 20th. Sergio Calderon 21st. Jonathan Cupp at 22. Matt Taylor 23. Paul Hall 24. Jean-Yves Sampson 25. Ryan Schleif 26. Lou Masciarelli in the pits in 27th. Back up to your
Greg
race
Myers
leader.
in the pits. Aaron Parsons in the pits. Schubeck in the pits.
Yep, so we're starting to see our first wave of pit rotations.
Absolutely halfway, 17 laps in the books.
Back up front with your race leader, Chris Moses, who opted to stay out.
He's still turning 213s.
And Marty Urin is not far behind him.
Well, Marty Urin has dropped to second off the last lap, so it is probably going to be time for Marty to come in. We're going to keep our eye on Chris. We said we'd grab him in the pits. I'm going to keep my eye there.
Well, I can tell you that Marty did suffer some sort of aero damage on the driver's side of that Ferrari, so no doubt that it's probably giving him just a little agita down the long straights.
Chris Moses in the pits. I'm just going to give him a second, then I'm going to grab him for a quick update.
Yep, and Urin follows. Urin also in the pits. Jolicoeur, Maris, Pohl, your top 5 in the pits. Wonder if Urin is going to get that damage fixed. We'll have to see. Probably not if he wants to maintain position.
Where are we? Where are we? Broadcast racing. Oh, guys, I'm blowing this. I'm blowing. We are. Okay, Lee. Chris Moses, how's it going out there?
Pretty good, Jack. I got a little bit of understeer in the car. I got a little sportelli or aero damage, and it's getting that fixed and try to for a smooth second stint here and keep the pace up a little better.
Well, you're doing a great job out there, Chris.
Thanks, Jack. Let's see if we can bring this sucker home.
Yep. What channel you want me to drop you back in?
PMR.
Thank you, sir. Good luck, Chris.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks. Chris Moses. The pit wizard, Chris Moses.
Yeah, I hope we didn't mess up his wizardry too much, but he is in a position he's familiar with.
So Rich Roman, who was serving a no qual, currently your race leader.
Yeah, Rich Roman.
Currently your race leader. Such an incredible
Yeah, he's only
run.
picked up about 30 positions.
That's about all. In what, less than an hour?
Yeah, in 45 minutes. So I'm going to keep my eye on Rich, and maybe we can grab him when he comes into the pits as well.
Oh yeah. I'd like to hear what he has to say, because boy, he's having a phenomenal run, and he stays out another lap.
Okay, I've got him teed up though, so we should be able to grab him.
Brian Mongrain currently second. He comes into the pits.
Yeah, we've got Cuppet and Werner in the pits. Werner's rolling again though, I think.
Mark O'Connie in the pits. Johnny Mack stays out.
Alex Scott in the pits.
Mike Gratrix coming in. And Gup Douglas right behind him. So Chris Moses now coming by all of these folks that are pitting in as he makes his way up to Losaurus.
Well, I do think, well, then again, you know, Rich has got, that Corvette seems to be pretty good on fuel, but I got to think this is his time to come in.
Moses now up to third with Johnny McIntyre and Rich Roman ahead. And the gap from Rich to Moses is 1:05. However, having said that, this is probably the longest pit lane in all of GT1 racing.
Oh, it is indeed. It can be excruciatingly long, unless you're a smoker like I am, and it is a perfect opportunity to spark one up.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Jack. Rich Roman taking it wide into the bus stop. Let's jump on board. Is he coming in? And Rich Roman into the pits.
And he is flying down that entry lane.
So John McIntyre, if he comes in, will still be in P2. However, this will give Chris Moses an opportunity to regain P1, depending. I'm
gonna grab Rich right now. Rich, Jack and Ken in Broadcast Racing. How's it going out there? Rich, are you with us? Well, I think Rich might have us turned off, folks. Well, didn't get a chance to chat with Rich, but he's doing a great job.
Yep, he is. And so John McIntyre now comes into the pits. We're going to switch back to where Chris Moses coming into the source. So this will definitely give Chris the lead back, and quite possibly for good. And yep, Chris now your leader once again as he goes up through Eau Rouge. John Sportelli will inherit second. Marty Uren in third. Now Marty Uren has had his pit stop.
Now, has Sportelli pitted yet? I got to check that.
I don't think Sportelli has pitted yet.
Yes, he has. Sportelli has pitted.
With a 302, right? Lap before last with a 302.4. Wow. Very interesting.
How could he do a 302 on the pit stop? That is unbelievable. You know what?
He's double stinting.
Sportelli, here, yes, you know what? He is going to... Also, I have watched this guy do this, and I got to have a chat with this guy. I have watched him run out of fuel in more races than I can count. It is heartbreaking to watch this guy fume out on the last lap.
He's gotta be double stinting tires with a 302 pit stop lap.
Now I think he's probably only double stinted one, either the fronts or the rears.
Well, I can tell you this, Chris Moses probably took on 4 tires with a 335 lap, so that's more indicative of a typical pit stop around here.
Yep, and I bet Sportelli has just opted to take one pair of tires, because right now Marty is all over the back of him.
Yeah, Marty's got pace. Marty's got 4 fresh shoes on that Ferrari, and it's just a matter of time before he'll eventually find a way around Sportelli.
Yeah, and you know what? As soon as he does, Sportelli's going to come under pressure from Ian Jolicoeur, who is right up behind him. And there goes Marty, looking on the inside.
This is going to be the telltale right here, going through Eau Rouge.
I'm nervous now, Ken.
Oh, yeah. On board with Marty Uren. And he's got a little bit of a run on John Sportelli as they go down the Kemmel Straight. Keep it to one side, Sporto.
Oh man! Just a little tap on Sportelli. Oh boy! Woohoo!
Wow! And Jolicoeur now pulling right up on Uren's rear bumper.
Yeah, the big benefactor of that was Ian Jolicoeur.
Great racing, folks. Great racing.
Insane racing. Absolutely insane.
Oh, Marty Uren having a checkup on Sporto.
Yeah. And again, the guy who's gaining from all this is Ian. And, and I know Ian is just saying, go at her, boys. Go at her. Oh, Ian giving him the dip of the light, saying, get the heck out of my way, guys. Oh, whoa. And Marty and Sporty.
Jolicoeur getting into the back of Sporto and almost turns him around.
Well, from my view, I'm up on wingman behind Ian Jolicoeur, and it sure looked like, John sort of turned in a little aggressively there into Ian. So, racing incident. Oh, this is insane. But yeah, I bet Sportelli has double stinted some or not all of his tires. Ian on the inside.
Boy, oh boy. Oh, wow. This can end in heartbreak. This can end in
Oh man,
heartbreak.
oh man. Ian,
they
grabbing
touch.
the lawn. Oh,
They touch.
oh my God, they're swapping paint.
Ian dipping the lights on Sportelli.
I cannot believe that Ian hung on to that.
And here, look, Brad Maris on the inside of Sporto. Brad Maris.
Oh, and Brad's going to make the move on Joliker now.
Brad Maris with a sneaky peek move on Sportelli, blows past him and now pulls up on Jolicoeur. But Jolicoeur's not going to be as easy. Brad Maris apparently's got the pace right now. Brad Maris wanting a piece of the podium. On board with Brad Maris as he chases down Ian Jolicoeur.
Yeah, you know, at 2:13.5 for Ian, and a 2:13.4 for Brad. But Brad's previous lap, when he made that, the previous lap was a 2:12.9. So they're both going flat out, hard at it now.
Coming through Blanchimont. Let's see if Brad even lifts through here. Oh, just a little bit of a lift.
But you know that battle going on there. Once Marty got through, you know, he has put a 4-second gap on Ian now, and Chris Moses putting on a clinic for us tonight, folks. It's got a 10-second lead over Marty Europe.
Yep, was just you took the words right out of my mouth, Jack. He is just like I said, he tasted victory earlier this week. He's in it to win it tonight. You go, Chris Moses. Neither one of us picked you, but boy, I gotta tell you, you're just putting on a show.
Yeah, you know, once Ian and Brad got past Sportelli, you know, Sporto's running about 3 seconds back now. But Sporto's problems aren't over. He's got David Poole closing up on him pretty quick. So, you know, I look for more action going on here. And, you know, John, every position counts with John.
It sure does. David Poole driving the Aston Martin DBRS 9. Coming up on John Sportelli, and you know, herein lies the issue, right? So you're always taking a chance in a 90-minute race when you decide, you know what, I'm going to double stint one or both sets of my tires, and Sportelli and Poole taking it off. But you always take that chance with the double stinting of the tires. And look at this. Look at this. Aaron Parsons getting by Sportelli now for P6.
Yeah, you know, that we'll have to try and find out what happened. But, you know, his pit time just tells us he gambled it. And, you know, good on him for a gamble. But in the long haul, it just doesn't look like it's paid off too much.
No, and Spa is certainly one of those tracks where, you know, it really is. It really can go one of two ways. It can be a successful gamble, or it's just going to be tragic. Not tragic in the case of Sportelli, though. I mean, P7, very respectable, even with double stinted tires. The challenge here is making sure that those behind you stay behind you.
I'm a little farther back. Brian Mongrain in P11 and Andre Cole. They're in a heated battle as well.
Just caught up with you there, Jack. So, yep, Andres Cole, P10. Brian Mongrain driving the big Ford GT, P11. Just jumped on board with Brian Mongrain as they come into the bus stop chicane.
Yep, Brian, one half of BS Racing. That's Brian and Steve.
Yes, sir. Up through Eau Rouge. And Brian not letting off the throttle. Trying to get a run on Andres Cole. I know he's got the draft, but it doesn't look like he's got enough to put the move on him. Or does he?
Well, he's got some legs in that big Ford, but maybe the over-under.
Almost, almost. And boy, right behind them is John Ludden. John Ludden, who lost many a position in the early going of this race, looking for some redemption. Thomas Schubeck in 13th.
Yeah, a little surprising with John. You know, I guess he, you know, maybe got thrown off his game plan a little bit because he got tossed way to the back, but. You know, so did Rich Roman. Rich Roman started way back in. I mean, he's sitting up in P8 now all by himself, running his own race. And that's what, you know, 28 positions he's gained. It's insane.
Speaks volumes to his talent and his willingness. And, yeah, his willingness to compete. So now Thomas Schubeck back in P13, coming under some pressure from Alex Scott, who is starting to creep up on him in the O2 saline.
Yeah, Schubeck's running a great race. You know, like I say, you know, if he starts to show a little bit of patience, he's got it nailed. He's going to be in the points consistently. He's doing real well lately. So good on you, Tom.
Bjorn Heyman not too far behind them. He takes it wide into the bus stop chicane, P15. Johnny McIntyre back in P16, so he's currently running in the last points paying position. Mike Greatrix, Andrew Werner, they're in a little bit of a battle by themselves as Werner slides it into the chicane. Sergio Calderon in P19 and Jonathan Cuppett running 20th, Matt Taylor 21st, Matt Shirelli in 22nd, Ryan Schleif 23rd, Paul Hall 24th, and Jean-Yves Sampson in 25th. Trying to give everybody a little bit of love here tonight.
Yeah, I'm back up on with Alex Scott as he's closed up on the back of Thomas Schubeck.
Still a great battle going on for P10 between Brian Mongrain, Andres Cole. These guys are going at it tooth and nail, trying to make it stick. Brian trying to find his way around Andres Cole, but Brian Mongrain is going to have to start looking in his rearview mirror because right behind him, John Ludden.
Absolutely. You know, John's probably hoping that these two get in and duke it out. Be to his advantage. Mongrain having a look on the inside. Oh!
Oh, they touch. They touch.
Whoa!
And Cole loses it. Oh, heartbreaker.
And you know what? Good on Mongrain. You know, after they came into contact there, it sure looked like Brian slowed down to allow Cole to take that position back, but as Cole tried to get back on the throttle, he just lost it and nosed it into the wall, and that let Ludden come through.
Yep, yeah, it certainly did. So now It's going to be Ludden versus Mongrain, but Mongrain showing the legs that that Ford GT has down the Camel Straight.
Yeah, that Pagani is not gaining on that car at all.
No.
It definitely in the braking zone, but boy, oh boy, that Ford GT sure stretched itself out down the straightaway.
On board with Brian Mongrain out his rear bumper cam, looking back at John Ludden, trying to put the moves. Oh, Mongrain takes it wide. Mongrain takes it wide and lets John Ludden through, so Mongrain back to P11.
Well, hang on, Brian. Keep it together because you know Andre Cole is coming back for you.
Boy, I gotta say that this is such a great race. Top 20 on the lead lap.
Yep, and that's just where they want to be as well.
Albeit, Jonathan Cuppett, the last driver on the lead lap, is now being chased by your race leader, Chris Moses.
Well, it doesn't appear, as Chris has made his way through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lap cars, that it is cost him anything at all because he is still maintaining close to a 10-second lead over Marty Urin.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's just driving fast, consistent laps, not making any mistakes, keeping it together, keeping his focus, and it's showing out there. His performance is speaking volumes tonight. So back up with Brad Maris and Ian Jolicoeur. Looks like Brad is just pacing himself at this point. He was showing a little bit of pace on Jolicoeur a little bit earlier, but now he's just backed it off just a little bit, knowing that there's still some racing to go.
Yeah, you know what? They are pretty evenly matched, right around the 2:13.5 area. Brad's put in a couple of decent laps. Right around the 2:13.
Parsons.
Ian, right around the 2:13.
Yep. Aaron Parsons back in P6. Rich Roman up to P7. Sportelli in 8. And Greg Myers as he comes through Blanchimont in P9.
Well, interesting you mentioned that. Parsons has got about an 8-second lead over Rich Roman. But believe it or not, Rich Roman is gaining about a second per lap on Aaron Parsons. So, if Roman can catch Parsons at the finish, which there's just enough laps left, he will have gained 30 positions in the race.
And that, on any given night at any GP, is a tremendous feat.
He is probably very upset that he got a no qual because he would have been right up running for the victory tonight.
Well, I got to tell you, given the run that he's displayed here tonight, he would have had an excellent shot at the win, and the race is not over.
No, definitely not. A little farther back, in P14 we got Alex Stott, and he is still on Shube's bumper.
Yep, just caught up with you. Got the television camera on Schubeck, but I see that Alex Scott is he's got to be filling Schubeck's rearview mirror.
Yep. Thomas is probably saying, what have I got to do to shake this guy?
Yeah, and Alex Scott, no slouch either. I mean, we've seen several seasons ago where in GT2, Alex Scott hanging in there with the best of them, up in top 10, top 5 at times. So GT1 just a little bit different, and I know that he's used to GT1. He races at another league that is very similar to NAGP, and he's a consistently fast guy.
Yeah, and a great guy. Any of you guys out there, any of you racers, need a tip on car setup, Alex Scott is actually the guy to go to. He is an automotive engineer and actually works at it professionally and knows his suspension stuff.
That he does, and he has made an art of working suspension with the GTR2 platform, with the G-Motor platform.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We're going to have to get with this guy.
Most certainly. So Mike Ratrix not having too bad of a night, running P18 right now. Consistent in his lap times.
Yeah, still on the lead lap and trying to chase down Andrew Werner.
Yep, trying to create a battle here. No doubt Mike Ratrix trying to get up into the points, so just keep at it, Mike, and pick them off one by one.
Working lap 30 right now. And I'm just a little farther up in the field on board with Brad Maris and Ian Joliker, still in lockstep together. Those two just pacing each other out. And I have no doubt it's going to be the last lap or two scramble for that final podium position.
No doubt. I think that they're just pacing themselves now. There's still a few laps left to go. So Ian Jolicoeur, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Ian, I bet he has got that wing laid out there because, boy, oh boy, that Viper doesn't seem to be able to pull much over that Nissan on that straightaway.
And yet, interestingly enough, some laps back, Brad Maris was showing great pace, even over Ian Jolicoeur, but I guess just Brad just backed off for the moment, and we'll have to see how this one's going to play out because Ian Jolicoeur, no slouch in that Nissan. He is really putting down some fast laps.
Now, well, we know, you can wear up those tires pretty quickly in that Viper.
Yeah, you certainly can. So just jumped on board with your race leader. He's checked out. He's checked out. He has placed himself 10 seconds over Marty.
Yeah, 10 seconds. We've got two battles going on here, folks. Ian Jolicoeur and Brad Maris. And, I think, as we mentioned, I think they're just pacing themselves. And a little farther back, we've got Schubeck and Alex Scott. And Alex Scott has got around Thomas Schubeck. But it looks like Schubeck is not letting him go. He is sticking right with him because they have very similar lap times.
Yeah, very similar. And I just jumped on the bumper cam with Tom Schubeck, and looks like he's not letting Alex Scott get too far away. Sorry we missed the pass, folks. We are trying to cover as much as we can, but still a lot of great racing in these closing laps here at Spa.
Well, you know what? Schubeck and Scott, are starting to, close up ever so slowly on Andre Cole as well.
Yeah, you know what? You are absolutely right, Jack. I just peeked at through Alex Scott, focusing the camera on Alex Scott. He's got Andres Cole in his sights.
Yep. So, if they would just, Schubeck and Scott would sort of like back off on each other and work together, they can run him down.
31 laps complete, 5 to go.
Well, 5 to go. Gonna do some quick math here. Okay, Rich Roman is picking up almost a second and a half a lap right now on Aaron Parsons. So we're going to keep an eye on those guys. In a few laps, that race is going to develop pretty quickly for P6. So I'll keep an eye on that. Ken?
Yep, I actually just jumped on board with you with Aaron Parsons, and I see that Rich Roman not far behind at all. It's going to be very interesting to see if Rich Roman can gain ground on Aaron Parsons, and then just how much. Because Aaron Parsons, I'm sure, is not going to want to give up his 6th position and the points that go along with it to Mr. Rich Roman. But we'll have to see, because I see that Rich is starting to close that gap ever so slightly.
And another gap that is closing is, now that Alex Scott has got around Thomas Schubeck, it looks like, he is, maybe Schubes is coming under some tire wear as well, because Alex Scott is now closing in on Andre Cole.
That indeed.
Got a lap car in between, but he's going for it.
And even further back, just a quick update, Matt Taylor and, Mascarelli takes it off track. And it looks like he may have a puncture.
Oh, yes, he's nosed into the guardrail.
Yeah. So I was following a battle between Matt Taylor and Jonathan Cuppet. Looks like Cuppet has now opened up a little gap to Matt Taylor. It looks like one of the Nissans are right in between them.
Well, you might want to get back up to Alex Scott, because I think this is the lap he is going to get past Andre Cole for that P12 spot.
Yep, jumped back on board, and actually on board with Andres Cole. We're going to switch over to Alex Scott and see what kind of grounds, if any, he can make up on Andres Cole.
It sure looks like that Celine is pushing in the corners, though.
Yeah, Alex Scott having to let off considerably on the throttle going through the S's. On board with Alex Scott, bumper cam.
And a little farther up, just as I thought, Rich Roman is closing up. He is within 1 second of Aaron Parsons now. Oh, and he is caught right up behind him now. So we got a battle going on for P6 as well.
Just caught up with you, Jack. Yep, P7, Rich Roman. Boy, having to let off quite a bit on the throttle there. His tires might be wearing down.
Yep, we get near the end of the race, and that's what's going to happen. They're going into lap. We're running lap 33 right now.
On board with your race leader, Chris Moses. Coming up to La Source.
All right, I think this is it for when Rich Roman is going to make a pass attempt. He is all over the back of Aaron Parsons.
Yep, just caught up with you there. These guys, their tires must be nearly melted, boy, because, man, they are being really careful.
Yeah, track temps up to 90 degrees. And boy, Roman with a big run off. Oh boy, I don't know how he could grab that inside curb and hang on to it. I never can.
Rich Roman on the back of Aaron Parsons. Somebody having gone and mowed the lawn.
Wow, that's Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor out there in the gravel. Got her rolling again. Keep her going, Matt. And we've got another battle going on for P10 or P9. Ludden and Myers. Ludden on the outside, down the straight.
Yep, just caught up with you. I don't think he's going to make it stick unless he can get the over-under.
Oh, this is great late racing.
Ludden, inside,
Wow.
outside. Gregory Myers saying, I'm still driving the line.
Well, I from my count, that was one move on Greg's part.
Greg Myers.
After last week, Sportelli's got us counting the moves here.
Yeah, Greg Myers defending fiercely his position, P9, and the points that go along with it, but John Ludden not giving up.
All right, we're in lap 35 right now.
Yep, so I am on board with your race leader, Chris Moses, working the final lap of the race.
Well, this is going to be the lap for Rich Roman. If he's going to do it, he's going to have to make the move on Parsons. The same with Ludden, and Ludden is all over the back of Myers. Holy jumping. You know, Greg is going to drive a defensive line, and it's going to be near impossible for Ludden to get through.
Two great battles going down to the bitter end. Parsons and Roman in a very heated battle. David Poole, P5, all by himself. Brad Maris, P4.
Yep. Chris Moses coming into the chicane, so he's almost put this one in the books by the tune of just under 14 seconds.
Your race leader coming up to La Source. And there you have it, folks. Race winner, Chris Moses.
Chris Moses.
Marty Uren will take second. And there you have it. P2, Ian Jolicoeur. P3, Brad Maris coming across the line in fourth. David Poole, fifth. Aaron Parsons and Rich Roman, P's 6 and 7. John Sportelli now making his way up into La Source to bring it home in P8.
You still counting them down, Kenny?
We are still counting them down. Sportelli, P8, crosses the line. Gregory Myers, not letting John Ludden get by him, will take P9 as he crosses the start-finish line. Good on Greg. John Ludden will finish in 10th. Brian Mongrain coming into La Source with P11. A very, very respectable race for Brian Mongrain tonight. Followed by Alex Scott in P12. Andres Cole in P13. So Scott getting by Cole. Thomas Schubeck, very good on you, Thomas, P14. P15 for Bjorn Heyman. Johnny McIntyre will take the last points-paying position as he now crosses the start-finish line to finish his race. Mike Graytrix making his way up into P17. Way to go, Mike. Andrew Werner parked it. Sergio Calderon in P19 still has yet to cross the start-finish line.
All right, Kenny, we've got Chris Moses here. Congratulations, Chris. What a clinic. Almost 14 seconds. How was it for you?
Well, the car was good, especially the second stint after I got the damage fixed and the track got a little warmer, so it freed the car up. I was fighting some understeer on that first stint. I couldn't quite catch Marty. He was going good. I just want to say I just kind of rediscovered the joy of driving, and I've been doing quite a bit of pounding out practice laps these last couple of weeks, and it's really paid off, and it feels great to be on the wheel.
Hey, no kidding, it's paying off. You're back with a vengeance. Took you a while to get back up into the winner's circle, but it looks like you're pretty comfortable where you are right now, Chris.
Yeah, it's been over a calendar year since I won in GT1 and 2 seasons plus, so it feels good to finally break through and get one, especially in the 20th running of the mid-season classic. I'm really happy to win this track of all of them.
I was making mention on the broadcast that you got your first taste of victory just earlier this week in quite a while, and it must taste good because you were after that taste again tonight. Yeah,
it's set up good for me with guys with ballast and no qual penalties. I didn't have anything for Alex, of course, but he was gracious enough to hand the opportunity back. And Marty was very game, and he had that big off there at the top of Eau Rouge, or it would have been probably nip and tuck to the end.
Well, you ran a great race. Probably one of the cleaner races I've seen you in, Chris. You weren't sliding around as much as you usually do, but a fabulous win and chalk up another one and a great champion you are.
Thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. It felt good, man. That's all I gotta say.
Woohoo! All
Good
right, we'll
stuff.
drop you back down to your channel. Chris Moses,
Thank
your
you.
race winner, Spa Mid-Season Classic.
So Jack, what do you think?
Well, my man that I picked didn't quite come through and win, but boy, there was some great racing there on a great track.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a one for the records. Some great racing action. I hope that the drivers tonight go back and rewatch both the pre-race show as well as the race broadcast. Lots of good coverage, and just want to thank you folks for watching tonight. Those that are out there, we will be doing it again next week. So for Jack Ivy and myself, Ken Rodriguez, thank you for watching, and we'll do it again next week.
Catch you next week, Kenny.